Craig.
Tanya, Damian McRae has been convicted of 7 felonies during the last 2 decades. Last October, Judge Patrick Foley sentenced McRae to community control, commonly referred to as probation. He was on community control when the Cincinnati police officer was shot. Damian McRae's criminal record began with a gun. He was 18, charged with carrying a concealed weapon. After violating community control, he was sentenced to 5 months in prison. In 2003, he was convicted of trafficking in cocaine and sentenced to 7 months in prison after Judge Stephen Martin determined McRae was not suited for probation. In 2006, McRae was convicted of trafficking in cocaine again. This time, he was sentenced to 6 months in prison. But as McRae's record grew longer, the sentences got lighter.
This is a societal question. This is a political question. Do you want to have a justice system?
Or what kind of justice system do you want? In its 2016 annual report, the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction emphasized that it enhances community-based supervision by encouraging local courts to establish goals of reducing community control violators and felony 4 and felony 5 commitments to prison. That includes offenders like Damian McRae. In 2008, he was convicted of trafficking in marijuana and sentenced to community control, which he violated by being charged with an assault. After that, he was sentenced to a year in prison. Last year, McRae was convicted of trafficking in heroin, cocaine, and fentanyl, the deadly drug often found in heroin. He was once again given community control.
These are the drugs that are killing people out on the streets, and we hear everybody in the community talking about it, and here the police do their job. They bring forward a suspect in a case like that, and what does the back end of the criminal justice system do? Community control. That's a joke.
The I-Team first learned about McRae during our investigation of sentences given to convicted heroin traffickers in Hamilton County. Our investigation discovered that during the previous year, convicted heroin traffickers were sentenced to community control in 4 out of 10 cases, and dealers with repeated felony convictions for drug trafficking were also receiving probation. One of them is Damian McRae.
This person had no business being out in society, none whatsoever.
Since Judge Foley is still overseeing the McRae case, he did not discuss it with us today. Prosecutor Joe Dieters told us the prosecution did not make a sentencing recommendation on this case. He emphasized that the court is generally discouraged from sending lower-level drug offenders to prison, largely as a result of sentencing laws and overcrowded prisons and jails. To see how many drug traffickers received community control over the last year in Hamilton County, go to our website, WCPO.com.